Charlie Flynn owns Copperfields in Belleville. He says he'll collect the tax, but he won't forward that money to the federal government or the provincial government. Charlie Flynn, at what stage are you at now in your fight with the governments?
Well, basically, since January 18th, we have received over 5,000 names to our petition to the federal government. We've received over 60 fellow entrepreneurs that are determined to upset the parliamentarians with us and will stand beside us in our battle against Paul Martin's next budget and basically against the level of taxation today.
So what you're doing is you're collecting all these taxes, but you're putting them in a trust account.
Yeah, correct, Tom. We're collecting the taxes, we're putting them in a trust account which has been set up, and we'll hold the money in a trust account while we are on strike. Basically, I resigned to Paul Martin. He didn't accept my resignation, so I had no choice but to go on strike.
So what is it that you resigned from?
Well, I realized that I'm collecting taxes, working 16 hours a day, 7 days a week. I sell a bottle of beer for $2.75. I lose 1 cent on every bottle of beer because I send $1.13 to either the provincial or federal governments. That's 50% of the net proceeds. I'm working for free. I don't want to do it anymore.
So what's the compromise? What's the solution? What do you want the federal government and the provincial governments to do?
Well, I don't want to be hasty, but on November 16th, John Chrétien told us significant reductions could be expected in the deficit. That was November 16th, 1978. Basically, what I'd like him to do is, 1, review the level of taxation, 2, eliminate the GST as they promised, or do something as basic as give us a reason to believe them.
Did he say he'd eliminate the GST, or did he suggest that he would review the GST?
No. In their red book, they said they would eliminate the GST. They might replace it with something else, but they promised to eliminate the GST.
So you have all this money now sitting in a trust account. How much is in there?
I don't know the exact figure, but on a daily basis, we collect hundreds of dollars. So I don't know, it must be in the $5,000 to $10,000 range. I don't know how many other entrepreneurs have gotten their checks in yet to stand beside us. So I don't know the exact figure because I've been running around for the last few days.
So you've got thousands of dollars of federal and provincial money sitting in a bank account. When are you going to hand it over?
Basically, when Paul Martin convinces us, gives us a reason to believe him, that he will cut spending and not increase taxes. Not 1 more cent.
So you're breaking the law?
Well, I'm breaking the law, but so is every Canadian. 3 years ago, this tax revolt started. Every Canadian is breaking the law almost every day. Every time they pay cash instead of paying the GST, every time they buy a bottle of either contraband alcohol or some alcohol that slips across the border illegally, every time they buy a package of cigarettes that the taxes aren't paid on it, they made criminals out of Canadians a long time ago. I'm just breaking it honestly.
So Paul Martin calls Charlie Flynn and says, I want the money and I would like you to hand it over now. What do you do? What are you going to do?
Well, basically, I'd ask him to do one of 2 things. Either come down to see me and meet the demands that they stop taxing us, review the level of taxation, or else he can come and arrest me himself. He can put 60 people out of work. It hasn't bothered him putting 40,000 out of work so far. Maybe 60 more won't bother him.
And this idea seems to be catching on. You're getting support.
From across Canada, from Canadians from coast to coast, Vancouver to Nova Scotia, all till 3 o'clock in the morning I was answering phones.
And you're not worried about going to jail or being fined about this?
Not in the least. I might be in trouble, but we're all in trouble. I'll just get a little bit sooner than the rest of us. We're all in trouble.
Charlie Flynn, thank you for talking to us from Belleville tonight.
Thank you very much.
And back to you, Carol.
Thanks, Tom. Kingston Transit is locked in a battle